Alright, if you're watching this video, that means that you've already watched my survival guide and mastered the basics of Sakhal. As you've explored, you've probably noticed that the loot economy feels much different than it does on Chernarus or Livonia. This guide is going to teach you what points of interest are worth looting and where to look for your favorite guns in the game. Like any other DayZ map, Sakhal is broken up into tiers: 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are also dynamic spawns for the absolute best loot, but we're going to cover that at the end of the video. What makes Sakhal different from Chernarus or Livonia is the way the locations within these tiers are broken down. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to break these down into town, village, military, and special. Towns are where you're going to find basic loot, like food, clothing, and basic medicines. Towns are found in the spawn areas along the north and eastern coasts of the map. You're only going to find basic guns in towns like these, like break-action shotguns, sporters, or BK-18s. Now, within these towns, there are special buildings like medical, police, or military. These areas are going to spawn different types of weapons depending on what tier of the map you're in. A tier 1 military area is only going to spawn P1 pistols, 1911s, or Makarovs, while a tier 2 military area is going to spawn Scorpions, Bisons, Saiga shotguns, or SKSs. Because of this system, one of the best spawns on Sakhal is Sovetsko, because it has tier 2 town and military spawns and puts you very close to other tier 2 and even tier 3 locations. Now, the biggest difference between Sakhal and other official DayZ maps has to be hunting gear. Most DayZ veterans are used to finding hunting gear in deer stands and summer camps. Sakhal has none of these on the map. Instead, hunting gear spawns primarily in tier 2 villages towards the center of the map. I find that this strip of villages is the best place to find hunting gear. I have found dozens of weapon cleaning kits, multiple Mosins, Blazes, Tundras, and their compatible scopes in these two towns. Lezagorovka and Dolanovka. Don't sleep on the sheds and the little tables out back of buildings in these towns. They spawn loot. I'm planning on making a loot route guide that will help you find your way to these valuable locations, so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Next up, we have the tier 3 area, which consists of the biggest city on Sakhal and the beginning of the military peninsula. This is where you're going to find more SKSs, M79 grenade launchers, baby AKs, and Vahirs. The big city is honestly not an area I've explored a ton, but it has some police and many military spawns. The military peninsula I've spent a ton of time on. It's very spread out and consists of many hangars, some docks, and an assortment of barracks. The hotspot of this area is located here, where there are quite a few military buildings all in one location. It's also where our first special loot spawn can be found, the underground bunker. More on that later. Last up, we have tier 4, which is the southernmost tip of the peninsula. It has a ton of hangars, barracks, a fire station, and some missile launch pads that you might recognize from Tizzy Military Base. This is a great place to find all the military guns I've already listed, as well as the full-sized AK-74 and its 45-round magazine. Now onto the special loot spawns. This consists of dynamic police cars, dynamic military containers, the dead scientist, and the underground bunker. Let's start with dynamic police cars. These will randomly pop up along the coastal towns and will be surrounded by police and prisoner zombies. This is a great find if you're a freshie on the coast looking for a basic gun or a stab vest. Next up, we have dynamic military containers. You may have noticed that most of the islands off the coast of Sakhal are tier 1 loot spawns. Most of these islands don't even have that many buildings on them, so at first glance, they don't appear to be worth looting. However, this is where all the military shipping containers can spawn, which are basically the equivalent of helicopter crash sites on other maps. If you're lucky enough to have a boat, cruising the shores of the islands is the best way to find these containers. They contain amazing weapons like AK-101s, M4s, M16s, standardized suppressors, and DMRs. Last but not least, we have the Scientist and the Underground Bunker, which is basically the quest of Sakhal. The Scientists can spawn along the marked trails near the volcano. They spawn with a locked briefcase, the keys to which can be found in these research buildings, located here and here. The briefcase will contain a glow plug, an ice pick, tetracycline, chelating tablets, a GPS with a battery, and 2 purified water bottles. These bottles are amazing. They filter out all contaminants. With it, you can just scoop up some snow, let it defrost, and drink without worrying about sickness. The glow plug is what's important for the quest. It is guaranteed to spawn in the briefcase. However, it can spawn in basically any town, village, or industrial building across the map if you're lucky enough. Take the glow plug and as much gasoline as you can carry. I recommend at least 2, but probably 3 cooking pots full, down to the military peninsula. Travel to this location and head east across the hangars and up the hill towards the Livonia Tower. This building here is the generator room. Insert the glow plug and the gasoline into the generator and look at the wall to your left. There are 4 switches, which can only be activated 1 at a time. More than one will trip the breaker and close all the doors in the bunker. If you've got a friend, this is easy. One of you go down the hill and into the bunker while the other one waits in the generator room to pull the switches. If you're a solo, this is much riskier. I managed to get it done and even fight off glow plug thieves in one of my recent videos, but it wasn't easy. The bunker contains some pretty amazing loot, including the new camo plate carrier, SV98s, AKMs, drum mags, SVDs, normalized suppressors, and even ammo crates. Also night vision goggles, I almost forgot those. You can look through the vents, but you won't really be able to see much of the loot inside, so you're just gonna have to roll the dice on which doors to open. While the best loot is locked behind these doors, the bunker itself is unlocked, so you can go in without a glow plug or gasoline. Tier 3 military loot will spawn here, and who knows, maybe somebody with a glow plug might have been nice enough to pull out some of the guns behind the locked doors and left them for the taking. You may have noticed that there's a whole mess of guns that aren't listed in this guide. That is because all of these guns do not spawn on vanilla Sakhal. But you'll probably see a lot of community servers changing this and reintroducing these guns into the map. I hope that this video helped you better understand the loot economy on Sakhal. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on my loot route guides that I'm going to be bringing back to help you figure out where you spawned, what's worth looting, and how to get to the exciting POIs and traverse the map. Until then, I wish you luck surviving Sakhal.